What's up? It's Adam coming to you from the middle of the desert. No, I'm joking. Spot called Moi Ne in Vietnam here. As you can tell, I'm right on the beach. I'm going to attempt to give a little tutorial on Koundinyasana 1. Some call it revolved hurdler pose, some call it revolved albatross. I know in the city of Austin, Texas they do. So let's see what happens here. Right, and there's some really key points to this pose that I want to touch on. And the first is regarding the shoulders here. First things first, really what you're looking for here is a sense of broadness across the front of your collarbones, whether it be like Chaturanga Dandasana, right, with those inner hands pressing down, heart carrying forward, or in plank pose, same deal here. Right, so really even establishing that sense of plank where those upper outer arms wrap back, and then establishing that sense of Chaturanga where the base of your index fingers, inner hands press down, shoulder heads draw broad, right, to set yourself up for this pose. And the second part of this is going to be just adding a twist here. Right, so there are a few different ways to get into this. And what I'm going to do is try to alternate from one side to the other here throughout, so I don't get too sore on one side. You can start off by coming to a crouch here. Right, and even noticing the kind of evident twist that's in this. Right, and immediately notice if that upper back begins to round, your back begins to round. Think about trying to press your tailbone back, lengthen your spine and twist here, almost like you're trying to, in this case it's my right rib cage that's going to wrap back, and then hands plant. Right, and this should get interesting with the water here, so if I fall we all get a good laugh. Now what a lot of people want to do is they want to perch on both elbows here, and you'll notice that my right shoulder already kind of presses down, right, and kind of caves in. It's not good for your bicep tendon. Really, so what you want to do, just like Chaturanga, not let that collarbone kind of shorten, but rather get it to broaden. So those elbows, they can bend straight back here. And the higher up here, in this case it's my left thigh, is up on my right tricep, the better. Collarbones stay broad, and you might even just work with this, broadening the collarbones while in the twist. Dragging on this, in this case my left knee wraps back, keeping everything even, right? You might even take it a step back if you find that you're not quite ready for this yet, and take what's known as revolved chair. So that same idea, tailbone lengthening back, collarbones broadening, and then wrapping the rib cage to the sky. Right, if you're utilizing this method to get into it, I'm going to just switch sides here, find a little bit more in the way of stable stand. If you're utilizing this method to get into it, notice my left elbow wider than my left hip. I can reach my right arm up to get broad, really long through my right side body, and on an exhale press it down. And then thinking triceps wrap back, heart rises, and it come into revolved crow here. Now, the tendency is to let your elbows bend back, and this is really going to help you accentuate the twist, carry your heart forward. But over time, even in this prep, consider pressing the ground away, working those arms towards straight, but that's a slightly different pose here. Right, but you'll notice my obliques fairly active here. And then when you are ready for Koundinyasana 1, coming into it from this approach, elbows bend back, collarbones broaden, really finding that sense of a twist. Maybe left leg extends. And I'm going to give this one more shot. It's my first time trying this in water, yeah? And then once again, left leg extends, right leg can extend back. Collarbone stay broad, heart carries forward. Koundinyasana 1. So that's method number 1 to get into this. Coming up, method number 2. So for method number 2, you can come into this right from downward facing dog. Right, and once again, we'll go through the preparatory stuff first. Collarbones stay broad. In this case, I'm going to start by lifting my left leg up. Right, and then as I exhale, my knee comes to my chest. Try to keep my shoulder heads broad, collarbones broad as I twist here. Right, once again, in this case, it's my left shoulder. Try not to let it drop. to really hug in here. Right, and that's going to help work your obliques muscles. Really, like, in the process of preparation, come to the second side. In this case, my right knee towards my left armpit. Once again, finding that hug, finding the obliques work, and I believe the serratus anterior work as well. You might take a few rounds of this. Now, to actually find your way to the pose from here, right, we'll walk it through in multiple steps here. Step one, I'm going to start on my left side on this case. Collarbones get broad. My right or left knee comes towards my right armpit. Right, and I can just place my left foot to the outside of my right arm, and already my back wants to round, so I re-broaden my collarbones, really drag my heart forward, and if there's a sense of hugging my right knee, left knee rather, towards my right armpit, my inner right thigh wraps back. Part two might just be to bend your elbows back like chaturanga here, which I'm doing. Collarbones re-broaden, try not to let that, in this case, my left shoulder drop. And then maybe from here, heart forward, left leg extends out, right leg extends back. Tailbone lengthens back. And over time, with a little wiggle of the hips, you can go back to chaturanga, move through upward facing dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Now, if you find that you've got all this, you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge, I'm gonna try this on the other side, gonna come right to it, and we're gonna add tripod headstand, a little bit of a transition, or an attempt for it. Should be really funny if a wave comes in close while I'm doing this. So I'm going to start on my right side here. Right leg lifts. Right knee to chest towards my left armpit. Start off by setting my right foot to the outside of my left arm. Wrapping my triceps back. Shift forward. Right leg extends out. Left leg extends back. Now if I've got this, I can come on up. Tripod headstand. And then maybe over to the second side. It's a lot harder in the sand or in the wet sand. And then from there, back, up, woo, down dog. So that's Ekapada Koundinyasana 1, a brief tutorial. Thanks for checking it out. My name's Adam, coming to you from Moi Ne, Vietnam. I will catch you somewhere sometime soon. Thank you. Namaste.